Okay guys, well in today's video we're going to kind of take you all over the map here of what's going on. So we're going to start by taking a box off a 65 Chev pickup that you've seen in past videos that we're building for a customer. Now this box is in first primer, so we're going to take it, we're going to blow it off. I remember I had put it on the truck to line up all the chrome on it. I did a video on that last week. We're going to take the box off, blow it apart. Sean's going to do the last little bit of body work, whatever he feels it needs, block it down. And I'm going to put it in final primer. So we're going to get the box off it today, and then we're going to be working on to a 72 Chev pickup, putting some front sheet metal on. Now, I've got the rad support cushions, and I've got the outer fenders. I do not have the inner fenders, but that's okay. I want to fit that together just to see how everything's going to line up with the doors and everything like that. So, and if you all remember, the other day we were working on the 70 GTO. And I had finished off by fitting everything, if you remember. Oh, still got my clamps down there. Oh well. And I got all this texture sprayed. So like I say, we don't just put it on and leave it. You know, you texture spray it all. So, and where you see the gold, that's the weld-through primer that we're going to be welding there, because you'd never weld through into texture spray, you'd just splatter everywhere. So now I leave this sit till probably next week. It's Thursday today. I'll leave it sit till next week. Next week we'll come back. Then we will address that, unless something else comes. But for right now, anyone that doesn't know much about these trucks or has one and wondering what to do, and it's pretty basic, but hey, there's some novice guys out there. You usually got 8 box bolts. Now, the wood's not in here, but you're going to have 2 at the back, you're going to have 2 right there, 2 there, and 2 there. You're going to undo them to get your box off. To make it easy, you know, a couple guys to lift it off, what I would do is I would pull your tailgate off first, which we haven't got on here. I'd pull your tailgate, and then I would actually I would put the truck on jack stands to get the tires and wheels out of the way, just because it's easier to lift the box off. You're not trying to lift over the tire and wheel. Because I don't have all the weight of the wood and all that stuff in it, I'm not going to bother to pull tires and wheels. I'm going to do on my bolts that I put in there. Well, I've only got 2 left to undo. I'm going to get them out of there. I'm going to lift the box off, and then we're going to blow the box apart, and I'm going to show you how it comes apart, which is pretty basic. I think you all can figure it out on your own, but I'll show you anyway. And like I said, we had put the box on because we were lining it up and getting all the holes marked in for the chrome. So let's go there and see what happens. Okay, box is off. Change of plans. Sean's decided it's going to be easier for him to block out the box if I just leave it together, and he does it this way. So we're going to leave it together. And he's going to block it like this, and then when he's ready we'll blow it all apart. This is a guide coat he sprayed on here, so basically guide coat comes in a rattle fan like that, or you can get a powdered stuff too, which is extremely expensive. Kind of just spray that on there, dries up real quick, comes out with this funny pattern, and when you sand it, anywhere where the guide coat is left, you know you got lows. Alright? There you go. Isn't that how it works, Sean?
Correct.
Guide coat?
Yeah.
You spray it on?
That's right.
And you sand, and if you see some left over, you got a low there, right?
Right.
There you go. Yeah, that tells you what's going on. So he's going to work on this.
On here, and then we're going to guide coat.
Yeah, he's got to throw some putty. Here's where I messed up with the welds. That's okay?
Yeah.
That happens. That happens. Good, okay, that's what's happening. So we're going to leave the box together for Sean. So we're going to get this truck all, I'll just blow it off while it's out here. Get some of the dust and dirt off it. You remember we all did this frame. We had cleaned this up and put it all together for the gentleman. Anyway, we're gonna get the truck out, pushed back in there, and put all our rails away. Then we're gonna move on to the 72 Chev pickup. Kind of liking this. A day of no welding today. Had enough yesterday welding on that, so we're just gonna play with some other stuff. Perfect. Alright, so I will get back to you guys in a bit. No point you watching me blow the truck down with air. That's kind of boring. And we'll go from here. Okay, so we've got brand new aftermarket fenders. Honestly, if you can find rust-free mint factory fenders, probably the way to go. We have an original rad sport. We blasted and painted satin black. So the first step is we're going to put the rad support on. But before we go any further, I've noticed that your fenders on the back side of them, down low, if you look on the bottom side of that, they have a threaded hole which should line up here, but because we welded all this in here new, this looks like it comes factory plugged, so we're going to drill that out to the outer diameter hole that you can see. Drill that out because that's going to be a problem when we go to put the fender on. And again, I do not have inner fenders today. I've just got my rod support, my outer fenders, and a couple of little triangle pieces which I'll show you later. I just want to put them on today because I just want to see to make sure that everything, because you have to remember we did floors, rockers, everything on this truck. We want to make sure these fenders are going to align properly. You never know, right? So it's not a big deal. You can put the inner fender on after, take the tire and wheel off, chunk it up in there, but we're going to have this apart several times. So for today, it's just kind of a mock-up stage of what's going on and see what's happening. So we got the trusty drill out. Let's drill a hole, I guess. My step bit isn't need to be one more. I know where it went, but we have a diagram. Perfect. Nothing worse than metal shavings. Now we'll do the exact same design on the other side. So we'll be back in a bit. Okay, so in case someone's stuck here, sometimes you buy these body mount kits which should come with your rod support mounts, and they don't come with instructions and people are confused. It's pretty straightforward. Most of them you can see they got this big round lip protruding from the rubber with a steel band around it. There's no possible way that is fitting onto your rod support. That there fits there, okay? Then you get a steel sleeve bushing, which I've already pushed in here. That's going to go up from underneath like so. And your rod support's going to sit on top of that, and you're going to have a bolt through the rod support with a nut and washer on the bottom. So let me get this bolted together and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Sometimes these are a bit tricky when you're by yourself to do this, but we figure it out. Don't know if you can all see from there. Maybe, maybe not, probably not. How about that? Can you see from there? Ah, you can kind of see what's going on. Okay, so that on there. This. Line up. This gives you a bolt. Put that hole. Nut, which I hate for mock-up. That's going to stay. Thank you. That's not going to stay. This is going to be tricky. This. two. Come on, baby. There we go. Nice. There. Come on, baby. Yep. Nope. Yep. It's in the center. There we go. Okay. So, as I said, you've got your bolt with your washer. Factory, there would have been a square washer. These came with round ones, don't tell you. I'm not too happy with these washers. Should be a bit bigger. I might put a bigger washer in there. Hold this up in place. There's your one rubber that I showed you up in there. And there's the other one underneath. Now when I'm doing mock-up, I don't like, it came with nylock nuts. I don't use them because they're a pain in the ass to get on and off, on and off. So I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to switch those nylock nuts out for regular nuts for now. We are going to use the nylocks in the final build. But for now, when you're trying to spin it up by hand, you know what those are like. You can't spin them up by hand. So I use regular nuts, and at the end of the build, we put nylocks. So I'm going to get some proper nuts, spin that up, and then this will be on here. Okay, got our bolts ready for what we need, and we're going to attempt to hang this fender. Sorry for the shitty video recording. Anyway, we're going to grab it. Go for the back holes here first. They're up high. You probably can't see that on the camera, but bear with me for a minute. Grab the camera. Give me at least a good 4 or 5 turns. And then that's going to fit in there like that. Okay. Well, it's actually hanging there on its own. So what I did was I grabbed these bolts first. Now the bolts you're going to be using on the top is 3/8 and the smaller ones are 5/16. When we do customer builds, a lot of customers, they buy a bolt kit for the vehicle and they take the old ones apart. I never get rid of the old bolts. I keep them all. I keep them in a blue bin and they come in handy for mock-up. So don't ever throw those away. Just a little tip there. Keep them. No matter how rusty they look, if the threads look good, wire wheel them. Only takes a second. Hang on to them for jobs like this. Now this customer will get a brand new bolt kit, but for right now, I'd sooner use these old ones. So if someone's priming or doing anything or hits it with a sander, who cares? Alright? So anyway, I put those two there. That's where they go. Then you got a bolt that goes down in there. There's one more up above. So the rad support, if you see this, it goes in behind your fender, okay? Like that. And then you've got these little triangle parts here. And they go somehow, it's been a while. Here, I see it. They're going to bolt like this. You got a bolt to the top, you've got 2 bolts underneath, and you see the 2 bolts right there in the front, and that's going to go like that. Now, let's see how we're lining up here. Now, there's still a bolt that goes in down below here that you saw me drill a hole in for. Look at that body line. Look at that. It's like almost dead on. And look at that gap. That is not bad for an aftermarket fender. Okay, well, I'm going to turn the camera off, get on the charger, because I see it says we got 2 minutes left here. So I'm going to do that while that's charging up. I'm going to attempt to get this fender bolted on as best I can, and hopefully by then the thing's camera's charged up and away we go. Okay, we are back and this fender is bolted on. It doesn't have a lot of bolts because there's no in a fender. You basically got your 2 bolts here. You got a bolt down at the bottom. You've got 1, 2, 3, and behind here 4, 5 bolts there. Obviously the inner fender would bolt on, and the fender would bolt onto your cab onto there. But right now we'll just try feeling like say, and look at that. I'm happy with that line. The door opens without hitting. It's just flush. It's beautiful. About the only thing I can see out of the whole thing that stands out to me that we will repair is if you look, I don't know if it'll show in the camera. See right there? Watch my finger. Finger drops down. Here and here, well, it shows right, it's all level. Just here. That could be anything in the door, the fender, anything. How are you going to take care of that? Well, you're not going to hammer, you're not going to dolly. I hate to say it, you're going to put a little filler here to build it up to that. We're not about to beat the fender down and then put filler there so it lines up with this. You're just going to put a little filler here. Doesn't need much, a little skim, and you're going to taper it off, and away you go. Alright? But I mean, that's just perfect. The line to the rocker is perfect. So now, we're going to go on to our next fender. But in the meantime, let's see what Sean has managed to get done here on the truck box. Remember those areas? He's puttied them in down there. He's got his little note there that he's finished off in 180. He's just prepping because now we've taken this out of here, taken the box out for the day. It is the afternoon right now. He's done the same on that side. And what's going to happen here next is he's cleaning out the shop so we can bring this in so we can paint that gentleman's box side this evening. So he's just cleaning up the shop and getting ready, and that's what's happening. Is that what's happening? Is that what's happening? You're cleaning up the shop right now? I see that. A smoke in one hand and a chair in the other. He's doing a good job. Yeah, he needs a beer. Sean needs a beer. That's all good. We got root beer. Yeah. Yeah, everything's looking good. I'll find a home for him. Yep, I'll find a home for him. Got all that stuff covered up so you can get overspray on. I gotta find a home for a couple doors, and then we're gonna get back on this truck here and we're gonna get this fender on, and let's hope that this fender goes as easy as the last one. We can only hope. Okay guys, so you've seen this fender on. Now the one thing I didn't point out, the one trick that I do when bolting this stuff together, I put the rad support on, I leave the rad support loose. I do not tighten these two bolts down until everything is situated in place. Believe it or not, there is movement in that rad support. Always leave it to the end. Just don't forget, because sometimes you can forget. So on this side, fender's on, and if you look, I know it's kind of tight here, I'm against the wall. The door gap on this side is identical to the door gap on the other side, lining up with the rocker, lining up with the door, except we got one flaw. Aftermarket fenders. Now, if this was just back in the day and somebody brought it to you back in this is a 72, 1980, and said, oh, I got hit in the fender, replace it with a jobber fender. You buy a jobber fender, you bolt it on, you paint it, customer leaves, he's tickled pink. But when you're building a vehicle like this and you get into it for almost 100 grand, you're not going to be tickled pink when you see a jobber fender. And I don't know if you can see this in this camera, it's probably not going to show. Do you see how this fender, so this line is straight, then it goes, I don't know if you see that. I can do that noise again if you want. It goes up. So that, it's hard to see with the primer here. There's my body line there. My body line comes right across and lines right up with that. Until here it doesn't because of this. What's the solution to that? Take a hammer with not a pointy end, but I don't know how to explain it. Almost like a chisel end on it. You're going to take the hammer there, you're going to tap the other side of the hammer, two hammers together, and tap, 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 and get that down. And then you're obviously going to have to put a little bit of filler there. That is our only problem with this whole fender. And again, like I say, you can see, I'm certain you guys can, hope you guys can see that straight and then right up. Just the stamping in the fender. Back in the day, nobody would care. Like I say, today, 100 grand, they'll care. You're probably like 100 grand. You're right, that's probably what he's going to be into this truck for.
Yeah, I think we're ready for the truck.
You're ready for the truck?
Anytime.
Okay, Sean's ready for a truck. I got to get him the next one. He's going to start getting ready, and we'll do some more.
With the box, that all new too?
What's that?
The box for this?
Brand new. Everything's new except the cab. Everything.
Except the firewall, pretty much. Eh?
Yeah, that's right. Because even the cab roof was replaced. Yeah, crazy.
Cool.
Okay, there we go. We are done on this girl for today. Put the cowl on. Look at our line. Body line's lining up. Nice line here. Lines up with the door. Nice gap along here. I want to show you something. Again, can you see this? Can you... Again, jobber fenders. And I'm not complaining. These are really, really nice fenders. But there's a little bit of a high spot here. don't know if you can see that. That's going to require a little tap down. Again, if you're just going to put it on a truck you didn't care about, you wouldn't worry. And now that I stand here, I'm going to run my hand down the aisle. And right here, there's a little bit of a high there. Now that's getting fussy. That's getting fussy, but when you're into a truck like this, you know, you want to make sure it's right. Gentleman's going to run the antenna again. He wants that same nice line here, same nice door gap. This is lining up with the fender. You want to make sure of that. Now the next step here is to honestly put the hood on. You really want to make sure the hood is your main concern, right? So that is going to be my next step. I'm going to drag out the hood hinges and get the hood on. Probably not going to happen this week. I don't know what we're going to go on to tomorrow for Friday, but I do have some other stuff to do. I know that the truck in there is getting painted tonight. Sean's masking it up right now, where the box side is. That's going to get painted and blended tonight. So once that's done, that'll come out in the morning. I got to put the mud flap back on it, the tail light, and then I got to give the truck a wash for the customer. Sean's going to be back onto this box tomorrow, getting that done. I don't know what I'm on tomorrow, but I do know I got lots here to do. So I kind of jump around from project to project so everybody gets a little bit of work done, if that makes sense. All right. So yeah, that's a good day. I'm very happy. Like I say, it's aftermarket fenders, but an original Rad Sport with aftermarket doors, with an original cowl, with an original cab, with new floors, new rockers, new body mounts, new roof skin. All that is new, and yeah, it's turned out pretty good. Let's take a look in here what Mike was working on today. Actually, he's up on the lift again. You can't see, but he's got the CUDA ready to fire up for tomorrow. He's on the CUDA. He's got everything installed, ready to go. He's just got to, I think, put some fluids in it, and it should just fire right up and go, because this is an engine that was dynoed. So it came to us with the distributor still in it, all that stuff. All we had to do was put the water pump on, the pulleys on, the alternator on, put the headers on it, and bolt the carb back on. And the guy that dynoed the engine ran it with the carb he gave us. That's a nice thing. Sometimes dyno guys will use their own carburetor. This engine was dynoed with the customer's carburetor. So even all that should be set, tuned, just ready to rock and roll. So that'll be fired up and going tomorrow, and then we got the 56 Ford. There's so much on the go. But hey, that's it for this Thursday show. So it's always a good time at Old Time. Keep your eyes out for some new shirts. They're not really new. They're just some of my older ones, but maybe a different saying. We'll see. For those that don't know, we've got a regular shop shirt right there, Rustos and Customs, with the pinup girl on the back. We got our Keep It Traditional, which we're getting more of those. We're getting more of those. And we're blowing out the Carried Away shirts from that custom car that I built. And if you don't know what Carried Away is, look it up. It's all over. It's probably one of Canada's top customs ever. Built by Jack Williams. Owned mainly, well, it was owned by several owners, but Cord Elliott was the guy showing it, and then Bruce Metcalf after that, and Terry Kong found it, had it forever. I resurrected it for Terry, and it's still sitting here under a car cover. I keep starting it once in a blue moon, but we're just waiting to see what happens, but she's there. So there you go. Very, very good. Okay, guys. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Always good time at Old Time. We'll catch you next time, probably next week, or we might even see you this Sunday with a Sunday Fun Day video. I should be working on my wife's 58 Chevy Nomad wagon. That's right, they made a Nomad wagon in 58. Nobody believes it. 55 through 7 were two-door Nomads. They were beautiful. They were the classy wagon, but in 58, Chevrolet dropped the two-door. Now, I shouldn't say that. They still made a two-door wagon, but they dropped the name of Nomad on the two-door wagon. And what they did was they made the Nomad a four-door and put every single option and piece of chrome on it you can imagine. If you don't believe me, if you're going to argue with me, I don't have the time. Look it up yourself. 58 Chevy Nomads were four doors in 1958. Fully loaded. Anyway, we're going to have the wife's car in here on Sunday. Maybe I'll do a short video. Maybe watch on Sunday night. Going to play with that car a little bit. You know, happy wife, happy life. See you later.